Hello, welcome to the Call Her Sam podcast. I'm your host. My name is Sam. Today I'll be talking to an accomplished young man. He is a three-time rugby champion from Namibia, a two-time player of the year when he was playing in Namibia, and he is a Zambia national team player. Young man, hey there.
Young
How are you
man.
feeling? Welcome, Bwalya Bwalya, Bwalya Bwalya, ladies and gentlemen.
So good you have to say it twice, right?
Bwalya Bwalya.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
And thank you for calling me a young man. I'm
Well, you
good,
don't
thank
feel like
you.
a young man. Are the bones starting to creak?
The
Are they
bin
starting to...
creak- No.
Do we need to oil them? Put some lubrication in there.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. Been looking forward to this.
Thank you for coming, for agreeing. We have to put your accomplishments out there because we have to uplift
Okay?
our black men. We have to breathe life into you. We have to make you feel, you know.
You're a good hype man.
Thank you. Now let us begin. Bwalya Bwalya, you've been
Yes.
playing rugby for 20 years.
Yes.
And your father played rugby for Diggers
Yes.
Rugby Club. Shout out Diggers. Now, was there any pressure from him to like follow in his footsteps, like you have to also play rugby?
No. To be honest, at no point did he ever tell me that he wants me to play rugby. And I think the reason for that is back in the day, in the 90s and 80s, it was a very, very rough sport. It's become softer
it
now.
still a-
No, it's much softer now. We've watered it down.
Really?
Yeah, so, and then there was a lack of schools that actually offered rugby here in Zambia.
Okay.
You had to find it later on when you start working, and then you go to the rugby club and you almost do it part-time, right? For fun. So because it wasn't really in our culture as Zambians, it's not something that you used to push. But when I then went to a rugby playing school for high school in SA, it was straightforward for me to think about playing rugby. And then
Okay.
eventually he would just check up. And the higher I got, the more support he gave me. So there was no pressure, at least not externally, but maybe internally from myself. Yeah.
Okay, so it was you were like,
Yes.
okay, I want to be like dad.
Yes.
I want to play rugby just like
100%.
Just like every
That's-
father-son story. It's like, I want to be just like my
Yeah.
dad.
Cliche, but yeah, true. He was my hero.
Oh,
True
I
story.
love that. Now, like I believe we're a product of
Okay.
our environment. Where you have two brothers.
Yes.
Did they also feel pressure over there? Just like, okay, we also want to play rugby.
Okay,
They are rugby players.
Yes, so there's three of us. I'm the second of three. So my older brother was already at that school. So when I got there, I found him already playing rugby, and he was quite established already in the school ranks. My younger brother did not make that decision because he remained at Mpelembe.
Okay.
And till about grade 10, he still hadn't touched the rugby ball. He was more on the soccer side.
Oh,
But then something clicked in him, and he just then started coming out with us to our games, and then eventually he started playing, and then has also had a career, and is in the middle of a career as well.
nice.
So it happened almost organically, I would say.
So you went to like you mentioned earlier, you went to an all-boys high school
Yes.
in SA. So you get there, you get on the rugby team, and realize, well, damn, I have to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
I have to be twice as fast. I'm not such a big shot. How was that for you? Like,
Yeah, it was.
was that like were you humbled by that?
Absolutely. Rugby is in their DNA. South Africa have won the World Cup 3 times now, 4 times. No other country has done that. They start playing rugby as soon as they can walk. They're playing rugby. So I get there, and the only rugby I know is what I've seen and the little we've done in the backyard, you know. So I'm then learning the game and having to compete with guys who've been playing it since they were 5 years old,
Yeah.
at under 5, under 6, under 7, right through primary. So I learned very quickly that I would have to work really hard if I'm going to be somebody. And it was, can you believe, every single year, like grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, had 7 teams each. So there'll be A team, B team, C, D, E, F, G, H. So you don't want to be the guy in the H team. You want to be in the A team
Oh, okay.
in your age group. So
Okay.
that was the thing, because then you'd you'd be somebody in that boys' school.
You're the you'd be
So
the
that's
popular
what
guy.
started driving me to work extra hard
And
yeah.
what did that look like? What was the working extra hard?
The working extra hard was I was in the hostel.
Okay.
So my mates and I would get up really early, go to the field, do some running, some fitness work, and that before school.
How old were you guys then?
Sorry?
How old were you guys?
No, at this stage when we started doing that, we now get to about, say, grade 10,
Okay.
Form 3, and now you're thinking, okay, I want to make it right at the top. You want to play for the first team,
That
right?
discipline. You're waking up that early.
Yeah. We used to do that, and then and then after training we'd stay over because we could. We have a few extra hours, and yeah, we had that goal in mind to be the top dog. Because end of the day, when you're in that environment, the first team rugby players are your gods. In other words, we carried their bags, we cleaned their shoes. We were not allowed to step on the rugby field. You'd get beaten. So we wanted, to be them one day. It was like its own little
Is that
community.
like a form of hazing? The fact that you were carrying their bags, cleaning their shoes.
Yeah, and they would wake us up, say middle of the night, and say, name the first team rugby team
Hazing.
and all their achievements.
No.
Things like that.
No.
What's a school war cry? This guy, what has John Smith done?
So if you fail,
you get beat. We used to get beaten. Corporal punishment was allowed, especially it was a form of discipline, and it's something that I wish still existed because we turned out pretty well. The discipline was carried.
I have a son, he's not going to no boys school, nothing.
No, they need to.
No.
And he won't tell you. At no point did I ever tell my parents that, hey, last night I got beaten up because I didn't know someone's achievements. It comes with it. The thing is, you see it as it's a rite of passage. There'll be a day when I'll be at the top of the school. I'll be that guy questioning these guys, and then culture is born. I know that if I went back to my high school now, these things are still happening because that's...
I'm sorry, the mom in me is like shedding tears for the grade 10 you, like, no, somebody beat up on my man, no. But I understand you have to go through those things to get the discipline.
True.
So, yeah. And you wish people still did that.
Yes.
That's hazing, but sometimes don't you think hazing gets out of control?
It never did. It never did. Thankfully. Maybe in other places, but I think it's in this modern world.
I think the way you say modern, with that little modern.
Yeah, there's certain things which sound really bad and seem bad, but back in the day, it was a norm, and thank goodness for that. I'm glad I lived in that.
So
through that,
you did the work. You ended up in the top A.
Yes.
Did you make it to?
I did. I actually made it a year early. I made the first team when I was in grade 11. So I was playing with guys in grade 12 and grade So it was a big deal. So I think after about grade 10, when I got to grade 10, I really started understanding the game and developing. And turns out that it's one of the few things in life that I can do really well. Let's put it that way. There was a coach of mine who once said, I think someone asked him what he thought, because at the time, even though I was picked, I was still on the small side.
Yeah.
I was smaller than those Afrikaans boys. Yeah,
when?
tiny, especially compared to these Afrikaans boys and that. I was small for my position and that.
Okay.
So a coach, I think one of the coaches questioned the first team coach. Are you going to put that skinny boy in? And then he said, let me tell you something. This boy Bwalya, he's as dark as a starless night, but he can play rugby. That's what he said. And I've never forgotten those words. And it was,
And that was like, okay.
Yeah, and then, he vouched for me and I didn't let him down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're living, breathing rugby, because I was going through your career achievements, and it's almost like I think you need to do a memoir. A memoir, ladies and gentlemen. You need to do a memoir, because when I was reading this, I was like, how did we not know this about Bwalya?
And you've known me
for
years.
Yeah. So how did we not know this? It just goes.
I think I don't have a hype man like you. I think that's what.
Trust me, when you get on that field, you'll be like, make way for Bwalya, coming through the Batman. So your rugby's your life. You receive a scholarship to the University of Johannesburg.
Yes.
What's a moment for you?
It's
You are on top of the world.
100%. 100%. Because the truth is, I never ever focused on academics.
We need to talk about that. We will circle
come
back
there.
to that.
All I wanted to do, I reached a certain stage, I think when I was 16 years old, all I wanted to do was be a professional rugby player.
You saw
I
yourself.
didn't know what else.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a step in the right direction. If I get a scholarship, I'm then going to play for that university team, which is then going to give me a passage into some provincial teams.
Okay.
Then I'm in the big time. That was it.
That's all you
That
thought.
was it. So it's step in the right
I'm
direction.
gonna make it. I'll be fame. Were you thinking fame? at this
No,
point? Or
not
just-
fame.
or you just cared about rugby.
I just
rugby,
wanted to
rugby.
play at the highest possible level that I could, because I felt that I had it in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does this start now affecting your academics? How do you start falling off?
I think about the training regime that I spoke about, getting up
Getting up
early, and then we're talking in the evenings, staying late, going back to the hostel, tired. You go for prep, but you're not there. If the strict teacher, if the strict housemaster was taking prep, then obviously you need to pretend you're doing something. I would be writing down rugby players' names. If I would be scribbling the best New Zealand team of all time, or the this, the that, what I want to be in 10 years, things like that. And that's all it was. So I did not put any effort in my academics, none whatsoever. When I started playing for the province, the provincial team trained about 2 hours away from my school. And so after knock-off time, I would then get a ride there. I would be getting back late. There was a time my mock exams were the next day, and I had a decision: do I go for training? But if I don't go for training, what if I don't get selected for next week's game? So I went for training the night before a science exam. I remember that. Yeah, grade 12 mock exams.
High school.
High school.
So
yeah.
wait, you were in high school. You went to high school in SA.
In SA, yes.
So which means your parents weren't there.
No, they were not.
So who's making sure you're staying on top of?
Okay, my brother was there, but he at the time when I was in grade 12, he had then finished. So
Yeah.
he was working. I think he was in university. So I was
Doing
staying.
his own thing.
I was staying in the hostel.
Yeah.
So the housemasters were responsible for me, and
So someone dropped the ball somewhere.
not
Do we
really.
blame you?
I think realistically, when it came to my academics, I think I was just seen as someone who wasn't academically gifted. So this rugby was my best shot.
Okay.
Yeah. So they thought and I played along to that really well because it suited me.
So they were like, okay, you are not.
Yeah, exactly. So like
Smart.
exactly. So you're in the top, like say 10%. Just you're like an E student. Maybe push for that D. But I knew deep down that I could actually be getting A's and B's. But
Yeah.
that's too much effort and not enough sport. You see?
Bwalya.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the results were not being sent home. My dad was not receiving these.
Who was supposed to make sure your dad
Me,
received?
because I would receive them.
And-
You'd tell your dad. But then after grade 9, when my results started going south,
You stopped sending.
I stopped sending. And then if you'd ask me, I would lie.
What would
I
you
would
say?
say, yeah, no, I'm doing really well. Oh, I did. My math is getting better. My this, my that. Not knowing that there'll be the inevitable time at the end where I can't hide my grade 12 results from him.
Oh my.
But I was going to ride that bike till the wheels fell out, basically.
Wow. Oh, and
Yeah.
you rode.
And I rode.
You rode it so hard to the fact that you got a knee injury.
Yes, Sam.
So, let's talk about the knee injury. It happens. You're nowhere near meeting your academic goals.
Yes.
You have to go back home. What happened? What's that like?
Yes. Happened in a provincial game before there's something they call Craven Week,
Okay.
where all the provincial under 18 teams go.
Okay.
And they show it on SuperSport, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
So in the warm-up tournament to that, I tore the ligaments in my left knee. Yeah, well, it was difficult.
So what was your thought
So
when-
after that, I'm thinking, I've never had an injury before, actually. And then I'm thinking, other than, scars here and there, scratches, yeah, but that was, so I didn't know what it looked like. I just thought I'll heal and I'll be able to get back on it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case. Came to the end of the year and I was still limping.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, that was it. And a few people told me that you stay away from rugby. You won't be able to do that, at least not at a high level. You won't be able to run the way you've been able to run, because running was one of my strongest things, my speed. And I didn't have that anymore because the knee had gone.
Yeah.
So, and then now you get back home. Couple months later, and why did they come out so early? The results come.
Why they come out so early?
I should. The worst results you could ever think of.
Really?
The worst results. But my dad still, at no point did he say anything negative to me. You could see he was surprised, and you could see he was disappointed.
Yes, because
but at no point
did. Are always that disappointment. Yeah. You can see it.
It's a lot of money, Sam. A lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah. But then he said to me, I did not waste I refuse to believe that it was a waste of money, because you got an experience of a lifetime, and we're going to use that experience to get you somewhere. That's what he said.
That is different. I would have been whipped.
So we still tried to make use of the fact that I'm Bwalya Bwalya and my results are bad, but I can work on it. We still applied. And then they said, hey, you've already got this scholarship running, but if you can improve your grades, then...
Oh, what did you call it? You called it a conditional...
It was a conditional scholarship, exactly. So I had to meet a certain criteria, academic-wise.
Okay.
Then I'd get the scholarship.
Okay.
Exactly, because...
That sounds fair enough. Yeah. Okay, fine.
So, and I didn't meet it. I was nowhere near meeting it. Okay. So they wrote back, and then I applied to a few other places where I did not have a scholarship. They didn't even write back. Just wasn't accepted. Yeah.
Nope.
So I spent a whole year at home.
What was that like? You mentioned depression was hard.
I was in a serious hole. I think at the time I didn't know it. I think I lost a lot of weight. I really had nothing to do. I'd be home all day. I'll take my brother to school, come back, and
were you thinking,
it was tough.
This is it?
Yeah, you're like, this is my life now. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do for life. I was thinking at the time, I guess I need to rewrite my exams, but then what? Even if I did get that scholarship, right? I'm still not the same guy.
Yes, yeah.
Exactly. I still have the knee injury. So, yeah, it was probably the hardest, at the time, it was a very low point in my life. Yeah. Looking back now, I think it was depression. It really was. Everything that I'd been working towards for 5 years or so.
It just fell. It
just
was taken from you. So did you have an outlet? Because when we say depression and a black man, we're kind of like, we don't associate the two together. It's like, it's probably just gonna get over it.
I think at the time I was too young to think and not exposed enough to think of such things. It's only when I look back at the thoughts that I used to have back then, surely that was just I'm such a failure, I've wasted dad's money, why was I born, things like that. I'm no good, I'm useless, because like I said, I'm not very good. I'm not a handy guy. I don't fix things. I'm not even the type of guy.
You're not that guy who can completely change a light bulb.
No, light bulb. I think I can do a light bulb.
Even I can do a light bulb.
Exactly, but anything more than that, I would feel like I'm just a letdown. And remember, my dad's my hero, right?
Yes.
And I've let him down.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Did you guys have talks like?
No.
Do you wish he did speak to you?
I appreciated the fact that he didn't at the time, because it's not a conversation I would have wanted to have. I think he was like me in a I think he swept it under the rug, and so did I. And
so did it come to a point where it's almost uncomfortable for you to talk about these things, or
school-wise? Yes, it became. Yeah, it was like almost like the avoided topic in the house. Bwalya's school. I think he discussed it with other people, but not with me. Yeah, I think he was really stressed about it too.
Oh,
yeah.
I can imagine.
Exactly.
But he did notice that you weren't yourself.
Possibly.
Probably just did not.
I think it's one of those. Yeah. He probably did, but he hadn't lived with me for a while because I was in the hostel. Yeah. So maybe that's just me. this quieter guy is, you know.
Oh, you think all these teenagers.
So maybe he didn't notice it, but when I came out of the hole, then I was able to realize that, damn it, I really was in a hole. You know what I mean? My mom passed in 2002.
Okay.
When I was in grade 8. Yeah, just a couple months into school, she passed on. So it was just been the boys for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go through that time in your life, and then now you're like, okay, I need to get out of this hole. I need to do better.
Yes.
I need to. So you start applying. Then you get the conditional scholarship. Your knee starts to heal up.
Yes.
It's better now.
Yes.
And you need to get back in the game. So now, what are you thinking at that point? You're like, okay, my knee's gonna get better. I'm gonna go harder. I'm gonna do better.
At the time, I still did not have confidence in my knee because of what the specialist had told me earlier. He said, you will be able to run again. And now I was running again, but I knew that not at that level, nowhere near that level.
Okay.
So that dream was something I gave up on.
Okay.
Playing rugby at a high level, completely forgotten.
No.
Now, how can I improve my grades, and then get some form of career that would interest me, because I've never ever thought of having a career, you know? So that was the thing. I thought I'd do it for the sake of my dad, improve my dad's for him, and try get to uni, get a job, and live out a very boring life. That's how I saw it, but I felt I owed it to the people around me. Exactly. Yeah.
So you go to UNA, University of Namibia.
Yes.
We'll get into this point now. I was going through your, I'll call it your memoir, because you should write a memoir. So you said you had a different mindset this time. You promised your dad, no dad, listen, it's going to be a balance.
Yes.
Academics and sports.
100%.
I'm going to do better. I'm going to focus. I'm going to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
So you get there and you're performing, you're doing all these things. Then you find yourself playing for the university.
Yes.
But then you're struggling to fit in.
Yes.
What was it?
Oh wow, yeah, that was difficult. Remember, I'm coming from South Africa, where I played with all these guys from, you know, it was still a diverse community, or at least I understood that there was a different culture, but they welcomed me. Okay. So I then go to Namibia, and I'm struggling to fit in because yes, sport is a language, but if I know that you can speak English and you know that I can only speak English, like why not explain certain things to me in the language that we both understand? But they just spoke Afrikaans, and they would have their little meetups, their little huddles and that, and just leave us Namibians or non-Afrikaans speaking people out of it. And I think I even got the better end of the stick because I was better than my friends. Okay. But they really used to get pushed aside, and it just wasn't a nice environment. Okay, and yes, I'm playing rugby, but I'm not enjoying it because I'm not fitting in.
And the other teammates who made this blatantly obvious, are they white players, or
they were
Indians, or they?
These are, if we're talking race, they're colored guys.
Mixed race.
Mixed race. They were the majority. majority. These. Majority, they actually call them busters. That's what they call them. These Afrikaans-speaking guys who've come from South Africa to settle in Namibia. Okay. Yeah, busters. So this is, we're talking 2010, 2011. Maybe we were the first of our kind. They hadn't been exposed to foreigners coming in to play with them. I don't know, but they just did not let us in, and we struggled. Yes.
Do you think it was a thing of? Okay, like you said, black foreigners being exposed to this. Do you think it was a thing of, oh, he's probably better than me and faster than me, so therefore,
I don't
complex?
No, I don't think so. I think because of how I mentioned, a few friends of mine also got the treatment. Even those that were still just trying to learn the game and stuff, they also got the same treatment. So the common denominator was that we were the foreigners. It wasn't the skill level. Yeah. So that's.
I'm trying to be a rugby fan. I've watched a couple of games.
Okay.
And I would notice that it has there's not many diverse players. Okay. You know, like diverse people from diverse backgrounds. I obviously did a little research, and I know that rugby has racism issues that they need to get past.
Yes.
So that was racism?
Yes.
So did you, okay, well, let's take it back to high school. Did you experience any type of racism?
No, not at all.
No.
Not
Just when
all.
you get to the
Just when I get
university
to the university, yeah.
So you're experiencing racism. How did you handle that? Because not many people would have been in the headspace too.
Exactly.
As though they've acted out and...
Yeah, I've always been a believer. You fit in or you leave, right?
Okay.
So I left. I left the club, didn't even give them notice, and went across the road. There was this Windhoek Rugby Club, smaller club, and they played in a lower league. And I went there and I said, I'm just here to have fun. And I started playing my rugby there for Windhoek Rugby Club. A few of the boys joined me as well. And that was it. I didn't want to be a person who brings change or anything like that. I wasn't a Nelson Mandela or anything like that. But
you
then,
just wanted to play rugby.
Exactly. But then I was dating a girl at the time who was doing, I think she was studying something in media.
Okay.
And she was attached to this paper called Informante, an Afrikaans newspaper.
Okay.
And she was looking for a story.
Okay.
And she had picked up on this racism in the university, things like foreigners not being given accommodation and things like that, and foreigners failing and them doing a bit of research.
And failing them on purpose?
Yeah, look, that one never had any, there was no evidence. But then there was just this negative thing where people were thinking maybe that's not the place to go if you are. Yeah. So she did this paper, this article, and she talked about a lot of things happening at the university, and then put in what happened at the rugby club, because she experienced that through me. And this thing made serious headlines. I remember receiving phone calls from the rugby club saying, would like to meet, we're being accused of being racist to you guys, please let's. I said no, it wasn't from me, so I'm okay. I'm enjoying my. Is that why you left us? And I'm thinking, wait, you only realize that I left now? You know what I mean? Why didn't you ask me earlier why I left you?
Come on, yeah.
So that then I think that caused a lot of change. All of a sudden, foreigners were now being given accommodation, and one friend of mine remained at the club, and he told me that they now speak in English. All the instructions are in English. Come back, we're having a great time. I'm getting invited to all these outings and things like that. I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. But I knew I wasn't going to go back.
Yeah. They needed to do better at that time. They needed to do better. It didn't have to take someone. I mean, the article was written, bang up job clearly, because the message was
true.
And that was 2010? 2011.
2010, yeah. So 2011 was when this whole article thing started. Yeah. 2011 when it all went down.
Wow.
Yeah.
See why I need to write a memo? I will not stop about this memo. So you're dealing with that now. You are at the peak of your game. You're getting citizenship, and then what happens? Your citizenship is getting organized. Then you're warming up to go to play a big game, and then your knee happens.
Yes. Yeah. So I went back to Unam Rugby Club.
After those,
because they offered me accommodation and free school fees and all that type of stuff.
Let's do this.
Couldn't turn it down.
Of course.
I'm not sure if I told my dad that everything was free. I think I still received something from him, but that's being a kid, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I'm then now playing. The things that you mentioned in my intro. I'm achieving all those things. We're winning a title where I'm getting awards, individual awards, accolades, and that. And then they tell me, "Hey, you've never played for Zambia, right?" I said, "No." Let's get you sorted. They didn't go through the front door, to be honest, because I didn't quite. I think I was a couple years away from meeting the criteria of changing my nationality. But at the time, exciting things were happening. Then the Namibian rugby team were going to Brazil and Russia and that for different tournaments, and they wanted me to be a part of it. So we went to this shady guy in the north of Namibia, who then sorted out a birth certificate for me, an ID.
So you were just
passport.
going to leave us in the dust and you want to be Namibian?
Yes.
With no shame, just like yes.
100%. I was, because Namibia qualified for the World Cup, Zambia never do. So I'm thinking, I didn't get through the way that I thought, but I found another way.
Let's go, yes.
Yeah, so I'm now.
Let me go this way.
Exactly. Then we've got this tournament in Brazil, and then the knee goes.
Oh no.
The knee goes, same knee. At the time, again, I'm thinking short term. Let me just recover from this. I've bounced back from it before. I'll rehab harder. I remember they still wanted me to go on the trip despite having the injury. But I think I said, no, why take me when you can? I can go like 3 months without drinking. But if there's a party, I can drink. But this time, I turned to alcohol, and that was it. And what made it worse is there was a cultural festival happening in Namibia right before I left, in my last couple months there. I've made my decision. I'll be going back in a couple months. As soon as I get my paper, I'm gone, and I'm not playing rugby. So let me drink, right? Then there was a cultural festival. Now I was in charge of the stadium at the university. It was one of the perks that I got, and I was like, so the culture festival happened there, so all the alcohol for the festival, it's like a 3-day thing where everyone has stores and all that, but the alcohol is donated by Namibian breweries, and it comes in and it's put at the bar. Crazy amounts which are not accounted for because it's donations. So I know how to open it from the back. I go in with my boys the night before and we do this haste. We got 40 24 packs. 40 24 packs of that. And we put it in my in my room. We're talking, I think it was 20 ciders, 20 beers, and we literally drank every day for the next, like, I don't know, month. I would wake up thirsty, middle of the night. I don't have water, but I've got Smirnoff Storm, so I'll drink that. Then I realized, and then I couldn't stop. When I'm not drinking, I'm not happy, because then I start remembering. Dad's gone. This what? Well, when I'm drinking, I'm happy. I'm the guy. I'm with my boys. Yeah, exactly. So I went on a serious. I started encountering drinking problems basically. I think that's when they really began. And
so to ask you how that started manifesting, like how did that? Were you drinking to cope with?
Yes.
And like running away from it, but did you find yourself like involved in fights or?
No. Once, yes, there was a time my boys and I beat up some guy, right? And I realized I think he stole a phone, and he stole my friend's phone in the gym, and we followed him to his room. I think we traced the phone or something, and we followed the guy, and the phone was still there, right? We could have, and my friend already like roughed him up a little bit. But then I just came in and then just went into him, and I didn't stop. And then afterwards, we've discussed it with my friends, and they've said, "Dude, that wasn't you. What was that?" You just
saw red.
So I think that was it coming out in another way. Probably the other way it came out was, I'm sure, I wasn't an easy guy to be around, relationship-wise and things like that. So I couldn't, so on that side, I was being very bad to the people that were there for me. So, but alcohol was my friend. Never let me down.
One more drink. So how did you, I know grief is something, there's no timeline to grieve. People will grieve for 10, 20 years.
True.
How did you, I know people also say, it never goes away, you just learn to live with it. So how did you learn to live with it, or how did you deal?
So I think the hardest part was when I finally came back here. Realizing that he's not here. I'm not used to having him in those other environments, but at the house.
Yes.
He's not here, and
that's when you felt like presence.
Mom's not here. Dad's not here. My brothers were out of town doing school. My older brother was working in SA. And then so you don't stop grieving. I think that made the grieving just kept developing into something else. So it was like, before it was, okay, Dad's gone, how do I deal with this? Now it's Dad's not here. When he's supposed to be here. And so how do I deal with it? I drink. Yeah.
So you came back here and you're still...
Yeah, 100% drinking quite frequently. Quite frequently, without really thinking I've got a drinking problem.
Yeah.
I think I only realized I had one when I tried to stop.
Okay.
Like, so what happened if I go like a week without taking
withdrawal.
something?
What were those like withdrawal symptoms?
What were or what are those like?
What are?
It's just I think on a good day it's okay, but then the moment you're triggered, and something then leads you to and something negative comes up, you then just start feeling like you need to drink. And if there isn't a drink, you just I wouldn't be comfortable. I wouldn't be, I feel like I can't think straight.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it would get those days. But never really thinking that you have a drinking problem, Yeah, that's true.
Damn. So who told you you had drinking? Did you realize? Okay, I need to stop.
I know it was me. And what helped me, I think, come out of that was rugby again. KPF reached out.
I was about to ask you that.
Exactly, yeah. They made me an offer, and then now I have to get myself in shape. The two don't go together, right? Alcohol and...
No.
Yeah, exactly. So eventually, it was easy for me to refocus, and I would still drink on weekends and stuff like that, quite heavily. But at least I would tell myself, let me earn the drink. Let me work hard this week. We play the game on the weekend, and
Okay.
And I'm now working. I'm now starting to teach at Lechway. I can't be like that on a Monday to Friday basis.
Yes.
That was 2016, and so it was easy to fight my way out of it. Because remember, at the time, I'm not thinking it's a problem. I didn't think of it as a problem then. It's when I look back, I'm like, okay, but that period,
that was an issue.
That was an issue, yeah. Similar to being in the hole. Like, I didn't really think it was depression.
Yeah.
But when you think of it now, that you're out of it, like, okay.
I know what that feels like.
Exactly.
I know what that feels like because I've been there, and oh my goodness, it is terrible.
Terrible, right?
Terrible. Now, rugby in Zambia.
I almost asked you a question, then I realized you're the one.
No, ask.
Oh, you can ask her, Sam, right? You can ask Sam.
Oh my God.
Call her Sam.
Drink for this.
How did you cope with it?
With depression?
Yes.
The reason I was depressed was was after I had my son. I had a postpartum. So obviously you're dealing. You don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So sometimes I think I haven't really dealt with it because sometimes it'll come back. I just realized this. I was like, wait a minute, is this?
So you felt something familiar?
Yeah, I was like, oh wait. And you feel yourself getting back. You're like, okay, I have to pull myself back up out of it. So it's like a lot of prayer, and there really is. Back then, because I didn't know what it was, there was no outlet. Like I couldn't speak to anybody.
Wow.
So it's kind of like I had to deal with it myself.
I can imagine, in this context, African woman
because we're told to be strong.
Exactly. And what? Are you the first person who's had a kid? You know what I mean? Like, who can you really speak out? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Because
and I can only imagine what that's.
I remember bringing it up, and they're like, "You're black." What do you mean?
Wow.
No. We don't experience that over here.
Wow.
Be strong.
Wow.
Pick yourself up.
I think this is something that, and I've been hearing more and more about it lately.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that really needs awareness because it is a thing.
It
really is a thing.
I am
and it
bringing
stays
awareness
a thing.
to this.
And it stays a thing.
It's horrible. It's a horrible place to be in.
Wow.
Terrible. But here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So rugby in Zambia, we all know football is at the center.
Yes.
It doesn't get much attention. So are there times when you're like, I want to give up. I don't want to do this because you captained the Zambia national team.
100%.
Against Zim in 2019.
Yes.
He captained the Zambia national team against Zim in 2019. Mm-hmm. Let's just put that out there. Bwalya Bwalya. That's a big deal.
My hype man.
Yes. Was there any support from sports buddies, from government?
So, man.
Do we need a drink for this? I feel like I need a drink because...
But not in the way that I needed a drink those days, right? Okay, go.
Let me take a sip. Let's just put that up.
Yes, so we love rugby. Rugby is we're the minority as rugby players. In our culture, football is at the center. We're talking lately Chipolo Polo. When Chipolo Polo is playing, the whole country knows, right?
Of course.
Everyone's wearing a green or orange or whatever shirt. When the Zambian rugby national team plays, no one knows.
Oh,
right?
I have no idea.
Apart from the rugby community.
I'm like, who are they again?
So we understand that, right? It's still a growing sport, so we don't expect to be at the same level as that. But my experience when I captained the team in 2019 on a tour of Zimbabwe is something that I still can't believe that that's how it was. It's something that, I'm very privileged. I'm in a privileged position, but then I think it should not be like this. The way that players are treated in rugby, national team players, is just not. It's just not it.
On.
No, it's not on. We're talking. I remember we left here. We're playing on the Saturday, right, against Zimbabwe. Big game, great team, and we left Zambia Friday morning on a bus. We left Lusaka after a very shady breakfast, by the way, at the rugby club. Very shady breakfast. We get to Harare. Yeah, it was that tea in a really big pot with the tea leaves and that, and then this this community bread with some polony. Yeah, you're going to represent your country. So we get there. At this stage, there's no contracts. No one's been given any money. We've got nothing. We go to Harare. We don't have any US dollars, right? We're then staying at a place that it wasn't so bad where we were staying, right?
Yeah.
But we arrived at about 3 a.m. of the morning we're playing. We're playing at 4 p.m. the same day. We arrived at 3 a.m. We check in and all that type of stuff.
Wow.
In the morning you have breakfast. You go to the rugby field. Not jet lagged, but you've been on a bus. You're tired. You haven't slept properly and all that type of stuff. So you're then there, and then you're thinking, okay, it's going to get better. Anyway, so you focus on the game. You play your match. We did okay. We did okay. Great moment in my life. Played with my younger brother. Something that we'd always discussed. And then after the game, we have our supper, and we're taken back to that place. And we're told by the manager, I'll be coming back, because we're thinking, let's at least go out and about, because we're heading back tomorrow sometime.
Yeah.
And the man never came back. And at this, he never came back. He did not come back, didn't pick up calls, nothing. We saw him at the border the following morning.
I was about to say, did you leave him there, or did he leave you guys there?
I think he had his own transport, came to the border the following day, and that's where we met him.
So he left you guys there?
Basically, with no entertainment. I know we're a bunch of guys. It was the female team and the male team. We're just at this place. We can't, and it's like, it was quite far from everything. We don't have any money on us. And we're just there, like waiting to sleep. And then 4 a.m. they wake us up. Not even breakfast. We're not even waiting for breakfast. 4 a.m. they wake us up. We're on the bus back to Zambia.
Oh my God.
And then you ask yourself, why did they do this? Why did we arrive the day of the game and leave? But then we realized, I think they wanted to only pay accommodation for a night.
For a night?
Yeah. But then we're there to play, to represent our country.
Surely we can get better accommodation.
Yeah, better accommodation.
Everything.
Exactly. You're thinking, arrive early, train, acclimatize, Yeah, so it's not really about the money in your pockets, right? But you have to be treated a certain way.
Yes.
You have to feel like these people are doing everything they can to help us win this match. On the way back, by the way, we're now on our way back, and we're telling we get to Lusaka. Half of us don't live in Lusaka. We still have to proceed.
Yeah.
Lucky for us, Muflira had sent a bus to pick up their players, because Muflira is sponsored by Mupani.
Yeah.
So we jump on that bus. But I'm telling the president at the time, the president of the union, because I was the captain, so I'm the representative, we don't have food. Guys haven't eaten, today and all that type of stuff. And the girls that are going all the way to the Copper Belt. The Lusaka people are reached, cool. But we need to go all the way to Kitwe.
Yeah.
And this is like, I think that was maybe 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Then he says, okay, don't worry. I'll send you an e-wallet when you get to Kabwe, so that then you can buy Hungry Lion or something for everyone.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I get to, when we're approaching Kabwe, because everyone's now coming to me.
Yes, like, yo.
I'm like, wait, I don't think this guy has my number. How's he going to e-wallet me? So I call him. I get his number. I call him. Who's this? Bwalya. I said, oh yeah, here's my number. Please e-wallet on this. We've reached Kabwe. We hadn't yet reached. And we eventually arrive. We wait that more in Kabwe. We waited for about an hour. Realized, guys, nothing's happening. Let's put our heads together. And we just tried to get stuff that everyone could have. Got home late at night. And I'm thinking, did I just represent my country?
Yeah.
Then now imagine being selected again. Or 2 weeks later, we're going into camp. Would you go?
No.
Exactly.
No, sir.
Yeah. And it hasn't changed.
No one called, no apology, nothing. Like, listen,
nothing, no explanation,
we're gonna do
nothing. And it hasn't changed much. I think they are treated slightly better. They are arriving slightly earlier. But then, the recent trip, they were gone for a month. Camping 2 weeks, you play for another 2 weeks in East Africa. You come back and each player is only given 1,000 kwacha.
Oh, the pay disparity, excuse me. 1,000 kwacha.
1,000 kwacha.
What's that going to do for you?
Exactly. And these are...
And you have a family.
Exactly. And for you, what type of leave are you going to... If you're in a proper workplace, you can't get leave for a month. Right?
No.
Unless you're working in the government or something. Not a proper, I mean a private workplace. Yeah. So you're already losing out on something. And then you're losing out on how you're making money. And then you come back from representing your country. We know that we're not going to get soccer salaries. But surely
you need to get
some form of compensation for playing for your country, some appreciation, some token, something.
Because imagine if one of you, God forbid, is injured.
Yeah.
So where's the medical?
Yeah. But the worrying thing is, I think there is money in rugby. I think there's money in rugby, there's money in athletics, there's money in all these other things. And I'm probably going to become very unpopular for pointing this out, but the truth is, it doesn't filter to the bottom, to the place where it needs to get, to the players. It's supposed to get to the players, and it never gets to the players or the athletes, who are the reason for these bodies.
Yes.
But that's where we struggle. I think grants are given and a whole bunch of stuff, but the people at the top do the bare minimum for the people at the bottom. Just enough to make sure they fulfill their fixtures. And that's it. Any bonus, anything excess is for our pocket. And that's where Zambian sport is now. People are getting to the office that some of them have never played those sports, and they just want to make money out of it. And what's sad is it's been happening for years. So when we elect someone else, the reason they are running is so they can do what their friends used to do, not so that they can make a change. But we vote hoping for that change.
For the change, and it never comes.
And that's what happens in Zambian sport.